Welcome to another Demarcation Media action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Jazwares 3-pack. This is Tovarus, Master Chief, and Hyperius. This video is in collaboration with All Things Halo, so I will put his video in the link in the description. Go check it out, and I will definitely remind you at least 2 or 3 more times before the video is over because, seriously, go click that link. So this pack is one that I saw a fair bit at my Target, and I never picked up because I had gotten one of the other larger packs, which was the UNSC Checkpoint, and all the figures they fell apart, and the weapons were all bent out of shape. So I was like, you know what? No more of the multi-pack sets. But All Things Halo sent this to me, so I guess what we're going to do is we are going to be reassessing these larger figure packs. I already looked at the Flood versus Master Chief. I'll put a little card up in the corner for that or something. And that was a pretty good set. The Chief looked a little odd in some spots and could have used some different articulation choices. But the Flood was particularly impressive. I can't speak. So I'm curious to see about this one because this one came out before the Flood one did. And it's got the same Chief mold. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Well, first, around the back, we get to see the single pack Hyperius. I've got the EOD. That was not a bad figure. It's just, again, weird articulation choices. Marine and Jackal. There's a Grunt with a Shade Turret. The Gungoose. Let me get my knife. Tovarus looks like he came in a 2-pack. But is he different? I can't tell. I know Mega tends to do set figures and heroes figures differently. So I don't know if that Tovarus is different. His scrap cannon looks like it has gray instead of silver maybe. But I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. Okay, so we have... What is this? Oh, it's his jump pack. Oh, interesting. It is gummy. So it has the bendable fins, which is good in some ways. It means you won't break it easily. But it also means it'll be bent. Oh, that looks like a Lego connection. Oh, we got 3 stands of different colors. I'll get those out in a minute. These guys are actually strapped in. Unlike a lot of the Jazwares figures. Why do they make these... Good grief. Why do they make these things not want to break? Free the monkey. Look at that. He swung himself out. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. Spartan Locke's helmet. I want to know if he's alive or not. Interesting. Okay, he has a double joint here. Okay. Let's put on his jump pack. We'll have Hyperius stand off to the side so we can get the other 2 out. Oh, he's got it strapped on his ankles as well. What? Why do the other sets not have it like this? Oh, that's not going to work. Can I cut it from here? Don't want to damage the figure, but gotta... Good grief, it's so stretchy. Here, let me just... There we go. Okay. Hopefully that was enough. Come here, monkey. Oh, his helmet comes off as well. I don't actually know if you could call that a helmet. It's like a crown sort of thing. Okay. There we go. Oh gosh, we're gonna have to do Chief too. Okay. Monkey number 2 out. This is one we have not gotten in Mega form. I don't know why Mega hasn't done Tovarus. They really should have done Tovarus instead of Hyperius twice, but I don't know. Why is Hyperius seem to be so popular? Because Jazwares did a single pack Hyperius as well. Did they do a single pack Tovarus? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with what they're doing enough. Okay, so we're going to get Chief out. This is an interesting take on the active camo. Mega just straight up does clear, but this is a little more on the cloudy side of things. Yeah, come on now. There we go. Okay, and then we just have some stands to pull out. So there's everybody out of the box, all on their stands. So let's go ahead and jump in, and we will start with Chief. So this guy is pretty much identical to the single pack Chief. He's got a stand, just a brown one like we've seen before. And this guy is, I guess technically he's not almost, he is exactly the same as the single pack Chief. However, he is done in this cloudy white blue kind of color. It lets the light through a bit, which this is kind of cool. This is kind of the same approach that Sentinel took to do their active camo. I guess it's not active camo, just invisible Miles Morales. So I think that was a good idea. I think it looks cool. It makes the invisibility kind of come through, like, you know, he's supposed to be invisible and you can still see him. So for photos, you can kind of, you know, have him behind like that. And he's just kind of, he's cool looking. And if you wanted to, you could use this as a base for painting. Also, the waist joint feels a little more stiff and actually posable, as opposed to the first one that I got, the Chief. He just kind of, he moves around, but it's a bit loose. But yeah, now you can see Chief with camo on, Chief with camo off. I think that's pretty cool. And just because there's tall Chief towering his way out of the frame. So yeah, there's not a ton going on with this figure. He's got the camoed AR, which is bent as kind of is per usual with Jazwares, unfortunately. And yeah, this is the same base figure, and it's a pretty decent figure. I was fairly impressed with it when I first saw it. I still think they could fit a double jointed elbow in here. I don't know why they didn't, just because like the 3-inch kind of scale figures usually just have single joint elbows, but if you got the space to do a double joint, I would say do the double joint. But yeah, pretty cool figure. I think this guy looks pretty interesting on display, but there's not a ton else going on. I don't know if this would have been weird or not, but a pale white 117 would have been kind of cool. But the more I'm thinking about it, that wouldn't have made sense. It just would have been kind of a, oh, hey, this looks cool, let's do it sort of thing. Moving on to the first of the Monkey Brothers, we have another stand. This has kind of some grass on it. Now, right away, I wanted to bring in the Mega Construx Hyperius, which they have fairly comparable detail, although this guy has more of the green. There's no green at all on the Mega Construx version, but we do have most of the rest of the detail. I do like how, you know, Mega Construx got the tan on there, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Got the jetpack. This jetpack is a bit different. Also, I cannot get this thing to stay bent straight. It's a little different, but, you know, you get the idea. One thing that the Mega Construx figure has that the big one doesn't is the red hair coming out the back. There is no red hair for the big guy at all, even though you can remove the big guy's helmet. Although maybe, actually, you can remove the Mega Construx guy's helmet too. Look at that. Papa Craig and Baby Craig. Papa Craig looks way more terrifying. But yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't give him the hair. He's got, maybe he just doesn't have the space back here. Would have limited what hit up against there. I don't really know. There's not a ton of articulation you can get here. There's like up and down, but it's pretty much just to say they have up and down. He's got such a thick neck, there's really no movement. He can get side to side pretty nicely. And then, whoops, I just sent the helmet flying. The helmet just kind of fits on there. It's got some nice paintwork. I like that. He's got kind of a jawbone on there. It's got the Vanish symbol. There is poor Locke's helmet. I still want to know if he's alive or not. Then for articulation, we can get up to about here for the elbows. Also, I just popped that off. For the, did I say elbows again? Why do I keep doing that? For the shoulders, and then for the elbows, we get roughly 90 degrees. So that's not bad. There is articulation for the hands, but because there's this armor plate here and it's not on the hand, it's kind of difficult to actually make use of that articulation other than just rotating. There's also rotation at the elbows, which is a little on the loose side. I'm not sure how I feel about that. He's got a waist swivel, which this has a better waist swivel than the Mark 7 Spartan from the Spartan collection. So I'm not really sure. Like, he's a big fat monkey and he has more articulation in the waist than Spartan does. The legs have pretty good knee bend. Not the prettiest bend at the knee, but it works. And then the feet are really stiff and they don't move much. It's just kind of forward and back. Again, just kind of token movement like with the head. It can tilt. It's one of those like swivel tilts, so that's good. And look at that. Look at the texturing on the feet. The feet look really good, like grossly good. I'll just take the jetpack off for now. It just keeps popping off. The legs themselves look like he's a little knock-kneed, and I'm not sure if that's purposeful or if the joints just got bent in the plastic or what. I'm not sure. But he has a thigh swivel, which works out pretty well. And then he can go, he's got asymmetrical movement because of the asymmetrical armor design. So he can kind of do that. And then his weapon is a Ravager, and he can just one-hand it. There's literally no way you can get him to hold the Ravager in two hands. But the Ravager looks pretty good. It's thick enough that it doesn't get too bent out of shape. Like, the blade is a bit bent, but other than that, it's pretty good. I think it's one of my my more favorite Jazwares weapons that I've seen. I don't know how well it'll fit for Spartans, because I would love to have a Spartan use it. But, yeah, it looks pretty good. And there's a peg on it, so you could, like, peg it onto a figure's back. Also, the clutch on the jetpack seems to just... It was decent at the start, but it seems like it just wants to keep falling off. I'm not sure. Maybe I did something wrong. But jetpack looks pretty decent. I just don't like the rubbery bits there. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I am a little surprised. He has more articulation capabilities than I was expecting for such a fat monkey. And then fat monkey numero dos. We have a much bigger gun going on here. This is a scrap cannon, and I think it looks pretty darn good. Again, it's a thick weapon, so not a ton can get bent out of shape. Some of the metal paneling, a little bent, but the silver looks good, and the rest of it's just gray, but the combination is pretty good. And the posing for Tovarus holding it is not bad. It's not as good as I would like. I mean, maybe I can get it a little better like that. Not bad. Not bad. It's better than some of the posing that I've seen, especially for larger weapons. So that's pretty good. He can kind of pose his hands a little better than Hyperius to get in positions. And he's just a little less bulky. So let me take the scrap cannon off, which, by the way, the scrap cannon is about the size of Chief. This thing is absolutely massive. Well, now you can see his face. I accidentally knocked his thing off. I don't really know what you call this. It's like a helmet, but it just lacks the protective qualities of a helmet. And this guy does have his hair. He's got his red beard. He's got a bit of a mohawk kind of thing going on. And the wash on his face looks pretty good. I'm fairly impressed with the look of the face. The eyes are very dead and blank, and it just looks frightening. Same with Hyperius. There's no pupil at all. But Tovarus in general just has less armor. Like I said, he's less fat. He has more articulation, especially in the feet, if you can get them to move. This is really stiff, and this makes me worried because this is how the past figures have broken. It's really stiff joints. The forward and back is stiff, but the side to side is not, which is not the best combination. And then we have something interesting going on here. Instead of the thigh swivel being up here, it's actually down below to make up for the armor being here. So I think that was clever. That was a very clever choice of them. Gives you plenty of movement without limiting because of the armor. double jointed knee, which looks better than Hyperius' double jointed knee just because of the big armor plate there. There's some like dry brushing on the armor, which looks good. We can get about the same, maybe a little bit more outward movement than Hyperius. These shoulder bits are rubber, so they kind of move out of the way. So that's nice. Full 360 as kind of as usual. 90 degree, and then just kind of swivel and bend. And this armor is in such a way that you can more easily move his hands. Again, token movement for the head. It's really nothing you can do up and down. And side to side is limited by his beard bumping his armor, but that's not too bad. That's not bad. I like the paint on there. That's very good looking. And then around the back, he's got some detail as well. So you can pop that back on. And he doesn't look really knock-kneed, which is pretty good. I do wish that the set would have come with a gravity hammer, because I would have liked to stick a gravity hammer on Chief and have him whopping Tovarus upside the head like he did in the trailer. But I gotta say, Tovarus is probably my favorite figure out of this whole lineup, if he will stay standing. There we go. Well, there you have it. That is the Master Chief versus Hyperius and Tovarus 3-pack. And I don't actually know if that's what they call it. They just call it Tovarus plus Master Chief plus Hyperius. But Master Chief versus Tovarus and Hyperius sounds cooler. Anyway, this is... I don't know. I have such mixed feelings about the Jazwares line. They do some things so well. Like, the paintwork on the two monkeys is fantastic. Especially the red and then the silver dry brushing looks really good. I wonder why they couldn't get this level of good dry brushing on some of the Spartan collection figures, because some of the weathering there was not good. It was just kind of like splattered on there. And then articulation wise, Tovarus is pretty much, I would say, satisfactory. The joints need work, though, because there's parts of it are too loose, parts of it are too tight, and that just leads to things being broken or difficult posing, like he didn't want to stand up because his ankle kept moving, that sort of thing. And then Hyperius is chunkier, so it's more difficult, especially in the hands, to get him into poses. And then he's a little knock-kneed, not sure why. I think I just have... my standards are maybe too high, because I'm used to Mega Constructs, which Mega Constructs are like a fraction of the size, and yet they have more articulation in a lot of ways than these figures do. And then for larger figures, as I said in my last Jazwares video, this dude is my baseline for like Halo figures. Like, I want Halo figures to be as posable as this guy. Like, this is the gold standard for Halo figures. And it's probably, I mean, this guy is $100+. He's like 160, 170, maybe more, depending on what version you're buying and where. But this is just my standard. So basically, for the little guys, I have the really posable little guys, and for the big guys, I have the really posable big guys. So I always want something similar, which is maybe not really realistic here. These are supposed to be affordable. They are supposed to be able to be used as toys. Yes, Mega is able to be used as toys, but the 1,000 Toys Chief, I would not hand that to a child and let them play with it. So yeah, I think my standards are a little bit high. That being said, there's definitely stuff they can improve, particularly the weapons. That's always my complaint. The weapons are too squishy. And then the joints. But I'm more impressed with this than I was expecting. Like I said, I ignored this a lot. But Tovarus in particular just kind of works. I like how, for being a big, fat monkey, he can still pose decently well. And he's particularly interesting to me because Mega doesn't have a figure of him. I can get Hyperius. I showed Hyperius. I can get Active Camo Master Chief from Mega, but I can't get a Tovarus. So that makes this figure more interesting to me than the other two. And he just looks cool. I think that red beard and the spiky headpiece is a pretty interesting look. The scrap cannon is pretty cool as well. So yeah, baseline is here. It's a pretty solid set. I definitely will recommend it if you like the Jazwares line, Or if you just have even some of the older McFarlane Chiefs or whatever, they would roughly scale to these guys. And if you just want a couple monkeys for your McFarlane Chief to fight, then this is a good set. I would say go ahead and grab it, because it's fairly easy to find it like on sale at Targets or Amazon, places like that. If you are expecting, if you're expecting the same level of posability and quality as something like this guy, you'll definitely be disappointed, because these are made to be affordable stuff that even kids could buy. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. These are limited. And for display, honestly, if you're just displaying them, these are fantastic, because you can just get them into a fairly decent pose and you put them on the shelf, you're good to go. Because I'm so into the posing and getting the photos right with the poses and all that, it just makes it a little more frustrating to me. But if you're planning on displaying, absolutely go ahead and get these. You won't be disappointed, because as I pointed out, like the paintwork on the two monkeys is fantastic, even at closer levels, like if you get in real close. Yeah, that's kind of the bottom line. It's a pretty decent set. You just have to make sure your bar isn't set too high, because there is a certain mark these are trying to hit, and they do need to improve to fill that area they're trying to fill. But for that goal that they're aiming for, I think this is pretty good. So again, huge thanks to All Things Halo for sending these to me. I will put the link to his channel in the description. Go check it out. He's going to have a video about a Mega Construct set that I sent him, because he doesn't have a ton of experience looking at Mega Construct sets. So I thought it would be a pretty cool thing to have him look at the Wasp. So he has a review of the Wasp over on his channel. So I highly recommend you go check that out. I will, again, put the link directly to the video, but also to his channel in the description. So go check him out. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.